Well, hello. So, yeah, right now I'm traveling around my home country for a bit, and I wanted to talk about traveling when you're highly sensitive and the difficulties with that. Because I think that for many highly sensitive persons, traveling could seem like no, it's nothing you want to engage in because of all the stress, the insecurity, nowhere to retreat, and not knowing what to expect from your travels. And I've been traveling quite a bit actually, though. I've done 3 backpacking trips, and the first one lasted for actually 7 months, almost 7 months, I think, and the second one and the third one was about 4 and 3 months, each of them. Yeah, the second one was, I think, 4 months, and the last one was 3 months. Yes. So, and when I've been, traveling, I've been enjoying it, yes, but it has also been, of course, very difficult. And I've been also living in hostels, and that could be, with so many other people, and you don't have your own space. You even almost share bed with well, usually it's bunk beds. So, but you have someone up there or down there. It can be very difficult for a sensitive person, and when you not having your own space, you cannot lock the door. Because I've been traveling on a budget, of course, so I couldn't afford to have my own room every night. It's just how it is, and but definitely it was very, how to say, developing. It made me grow, definitely, those trips, and I'm very glad I did them. But in the end of every trip, like I've always been going actually with a one-way ticket. So I could, I'm gonna feel as a usually sensitive person. You feel stuff. You don't really trust facts. You go on the feeling. That's what I've been doing, and I just had a plan. Okay, I'm going to stay here as long as I feel that it feels good. Then I'm just going to go home. And I know in the end of every trip, or when I decided to stop it, I had such a I could not wait to go home. I I so much wanted to go home, to get back to the comfort, to be able to close the door and just have my own space again. But that's interesting because so in the book The Highly Sensitive Person by Elaine and Aron, which is a book which I want to talk about more in a later video, but that in that part of that book she discuss 2 kinds of highly sensitive people. Of course, each person differs from another in many aspects. Even with highly sensitive people, you will of course differ from another sensitive person. But there are 2 kind of categories you could talk about, and that's firstly the highly sensitive person that really is happy with a simple life. You know, just is happy to just live simply, maybe not engage in a lot of festivities or such. Stay at home a lot, maybe be creative at home and really enjoy that life. Very, very simple life, so to say, with not a lot of exploring, and you're just happy with your little space, so to say. And then you have the second group that it's like divided, you could say, where one part is, of course, that really enjoying that simple life and wanting to be alone, wanting to have staying in your own space, and just being in your comfort zone, kind of. But yeah. And the second part, or the conflicting part, so to say, is that exploring, wanting to experience new things, wanting to travel, and so on. And it's like that these two, the more simple living and the explorer, are having a battle with each other, kind of. It's like a constant battle of that, wanting to explore and wanting to retreat home, kind of. And I definitely feel that I'm that second one. And I feel that's in everything I do, kind of. And it can be very difficult because it's like a constant pulling between retreating and exploring. That's why it's difficult. Life is difficult because I don't know what's right. I'm trying so many different things. I am a bit everywhere, and then at the same time I'm constantly, going back, so to say, at home. But right now I don't really know where my home is, so it's difficult. But what I wanted to talk about in regards to travel, if we focus on that. So I said I've done those backpacking trips where you really you don't have your own space. It's very difficult to find it, and that's why it can be hard to travel for a longer period of time. But I found a way. It's something I've been thinking about for a long time, and I got to taste it a bit, so to say, during my first backpacking trip. I met a group of people, and we stayed together, and we bought a van, actually, which we traveled around in Australia. And it was it's just a very beautiful memory now. It was actually one of those that trip really changed a lot, I would say, in how I see the world and such. It was very a trip that made me grow, definitely. But that van, so I've been thinking about that kind of thing, and that would be something, actually. Maybe that's the way to travel. So here it is, my camper van. So for me, I think this is the most ultimate way to travel, because it's a car. Of course, you can go around, explore, but I also have my own little space, which I can retreat to. So it's those two parts, which I was talking about earlier, about having your little comfort place and also being able to explore. And so I was always thinking that, I want to get a van. It's been a lot with this van life and stuff, which you rebuild your, a normal van. But I've come to realize that this has a lot of like I've been living in a rebuilt van, so to say, and it really depends, of course, how it's built. But it's a high possibility that it's going to be quite tight. It's going to be maybe not really, it's not built from the beginning to be a camper van, so it's going to have some limitations. But this is really still allows me to have that comfort. I can properly stand up because I'm quite tall, so it's good to have proper high roof. It's really narrow, but still I can do it. Yeah, it's old, but it works. So I really like it. Of course, a rebuilt van can have the possibility of being more, sneaky, because sometimes you want to park in a place not really showing that you are sleeping in the car, which this one it's quite difficult to sneak. They're gonna see that you live in this thing. So I guess that's a negative thing, but yeah, for me this has been one of the ultimate things in my life, actually. So I had it for about 6 years, I think, now, and each year I've been going around. So yeah, I've been going around Scandinavia because that's where I live, and but the plan has always been to go down and explore Europe more. But that's still in the plan, I guess. I guess Scandinavia is good because there is space. There's a lot of space, and you can, um, uh, like this, park somewhere, and there's no one having any business here, so I'm completely alone, which is quite nice. Because when I park in a more busy area, it's still that feeling, even though I have my own space, it's very thin walls, I can hear everything that's going on the outside. It depends where you park it. But if you have this kind of personality, that this sensitive personality, that is that conflicting one, I could recommend this. If you still you have the you want to explore, but you still need your own space, this might be the answer for you. And this is from 89. It's not very expensive to buy, but they're quite attractive these days, because more and more people are seeing the beauty of this. But I see on the road it's mostly new campers, and or like newer ones, and those are crazy expensive, of course. Couldn't afford it. So but I'm really happy with my this old one here, and I think it has some soul. That's also important. The car has to have some soul. So there it is. I wanted to share this because this might be something for you as well. And yeah, of course, you can also have a simple kind of van, but you have to also consider that comfort. It has to be a level of comfort. And this is, of course, very basic living, but still I have functional tap water. I have a toilet. I have a comfortable bed. And if it's not comfortable enough, you probably not want to do it for very long. Because I see people living in their station wagons, for example, or having a simple van where you just put a bed in the back, and that might work for a while, but maybe not for very long. You're going to be quite tired of it quite quick, I would think, if I did that. But of course, it depends. Give it a try. But I want to give a word for having a real camper, because what I see is that it's mostly the older generations that have more of the real campers, and the younger ones want to have that rebuilt vans because it's a bit cooler, I suppose. It's maybe looks more cool, kind of. But buy an old one. This is from 89. Great year, why not? So give it a try. Well, take care, and enjoy your travels. Ciao.